Hey, I want to talk about something, a word specifically that bothers me. Never, because as a pansexual guy, this word bothers me, and it bothers people of the pansexual community, and also bothers people of the LGBTQ community. This word, specifically, is used more derogatory than it is in a scientific term. And the word I'm talking about is homosexual. So, what do I mean by it's used more of a derogatory term than a scientific term, and I could be preaching to the choir for all I know. But there was a presentation I went to, the 5th of this month, at School Unitarian Universalist, and it was on how to support the LGBTQ community of School County. I felt comfortable enough knowing that it's a secular society, knowing that it's a non-religious secular society. Well, religious and non-religious at the same time. And I felt comfortable enough saying I am pansexual, and I discovered this about myself recently. And so, of course, watching the documentary, which really boiled my blood with all the bigotry towards members of the LGBTQ community, including the pansexual community. And what really boils my blood is this whole conservative, fundamentalist Christian mentality that all gay people, or people who have some gay attraction, that they're going to go to hell because, you know, they are in a heterosexual state. And this is the mentality that also scares me, because they think conversion therapy works, and it really frightens me. I'm being serious, it really frightens me. So why does the term homosexual bother me, though? Like I said, people use a more derogatory term than they do a scientific term. One of the older gentlemen that went to this presentation, I have no grudge against him. But this particular night, and like I said, I have no grudge against the guy. So he asked, he's an older gentleman, so I also excuse him for the way he asked this question. He said, what is a homosexual? The way he phrased the question really bothers me. And it just bothers the hell out of me the way he formed the question. If he would ask what is homosexuality, I wouldn't have a problem with the question. But the way he formed his question really bothered me. And like I said again, I'll say again, I have no grudge against this guy. Having a grudge against people for forming a question the wrong way is just stupid and pointless. So, when people use the term homosexual, like I said, can't help but repeat over and over until it gets to people's heads that they use it more of a derogatory term than they do a scientific term. Whenever I read a scientific article online examining homosexuality, they're using a scientific term. They're not belittling anybody who has fantasies of dating the same sex, or does date the same sex, or stuff like that. They're not belittling people for that ideal, including the religious scientists who do have a belief in a personal God. But when it comes to these fundamentalist Christians or fundamentalist religious people of any religion in this country, there seems to be a trend with them hating on people like me who are pansexual, people who are lesbian, gay, bi, or trans. There seems to be a hatred towards us because we want to date the same sex, or we like dating the opposite sex and the same sex, or we like to date the people who don't identify with the sex that they were born with and want to be the sex that they feel that they should have been born with. There seems to be a hate against us because we're born that way. There seems to be hate against us because we are born that way. And they use an outdated passage from the Bible, as you should all know, is Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13, which is, no man shall sleep with a man, or no woman shall sleep with a woman, if you want to interpret it that in a way that you can use it in your favor, or else he or she shall be stoned. And I'm thinking, this passage made sense back in a time when there was 8 people, 5 or 8 people on this planet. But you know what? There's more than 8 people, so it's so outdated that I think they should rewrite that passage, because gay rights are becoming huge in America. States that normally vote conservative, even the true conservatives, I'm not talking about Tea Party conservatives, but true conservatives who are basically Eisenhower Republicans, saying there's nothing wrong with gay marriage. If they want to marry each other, fine. If they want to own a business, fine. There's nothing wrong with them having rights. And you even see true conservatives fighting for the right for gay marriage as well, because there are gay conservatives. I don't know why, but there are. But like I said, in this country, there is a positive change. And I know I'm rambling on and rambling on, but the point being is, these hate groups who call themselves Christians or whatever religion they think they're a part of, they should really stop calling themselves that part of that religion, because they're not. They're not. Because they use the term homosexual more derogatory than the scientific way. If you don't believe me, look at all the news coverage of the Westboro Baptist Church protesting gay rights, or protesting children's funerals, or gay teens' funerals who committed suicide because they were bullied. If you don't believe me that they're using a derogatory way, look at the news. It's depressing. It depresses me. I want to get that off my shoulders because it's a serious issue. I just don't like the term homosexual. I wish people would use it more in a scientific way than derogatory way, but, you know, this is America, where basic human rights are questioned and hatred is welcomed. I don't get it.